even know the difference.
Yeah, but here's what I'm wondering. Why is the janitor with a plunger on his arm, I guess you referred to as disparagingly in a way, why is he making twice as much as you? What have you done? I mean, you think about it. The janitor who's cleaning toilets is probably making, I guess,
$19,000 a year?
No, more than that. I think you'd have to get more than that to be a janitor nowadays. I don't even know what you do at $19,000.
I take care of senior citizens, which this society doesn't value very much. But believe it or not, there are people making $9 an hour. And I feel
but
lucky.
But age 52, really, I'm shocked. You don't sound like listen, you don't sound like you feel lucky though.
I feel lucky to have a job for $9 an hour. I know people working for $7.50 an hour over in Ohio. That's lower than the minimum wage here. But I know people working for a lot less than that.
So you're a man, as Tom Wolfe said, you're a man in full right now. You feel good. Well, why do you want more's money? You're a lucky man. We should all be so blessed. Now listen, don't say this to the old people, because in around 47 of the contiguous states, this is considered euthanasia, this sort of claptrap, all right? So go back, be happy, go, yield, prosper, and, well, don't moan so fly. This is the Dennis Miller Show.
I think people need to get jealous. That's the problem with Americans. They're not jealous. They let 1% of the people have 95%.
No, I'm kidding you. That's just the tape from the first segment. It'll make everybody go, oh, Jesus, Dennis, why do you still have him on? That was, what was that cat's name? Kenny from Long Beach. I don't believe his name is Kenny. I don't think he's from Long Beach. I don't think he's 52. I don't think he makes $19K. I think some people just like to firewalk on talk radio, and so he was pretty good at it, actually. I thought I would be able to break him down with a noir approach, but he never bit. Let's go to Pat in New York. Pat, how are you?
Ben, I'm well. I quite the salty call screener, first of all, but I had to call up and give you kudos. I drive around for a living, traveling salesman. I know that's an impressive job description. By far the most entertaining call I've ever heard in my many years of listening to talk radio. I'm driving through the Holland Tunnel coming from Jersey into Lower Manhattan and clapping, laughing out loud, trying to text my wife without driving into the side of the tunnel to get her to listen because she's not a fan. But I'm trying to win you new listeners, albeit one at a time.
All right, Patty, we appreciate it. Yeah, I think the guy was rope-a-doping me, but I got to give him credit. He was pretty good at it.
Good job.
But I don't even think he believes in socialism, to be honest. I think he's... Listen, anybody, I am tackling this beast, Atlas Shrugged, and if my man has read the whole thing, that's a big melon he's got there, because there are times I want to bail out, but like I said, I think it was a bit of a put-on, but he was good at it. Good for you. What was his name? Kurt Loder in Yasowingo? Yeah. And let's go to Randy in Wisconsin. Randy, how are you?
Yeah, hey, Dennis, that last conversation you had, comment you made got me thinking, if Michael Moore, and I agree I'd have more respect for him if he gave that $100 million or whatever he made on Fahrenheit 9/11 and just didn't take it, maybe gave it as charity, well, then he still wouldn't be in a position to decry capitalism, because his favorite charities, which probably would do good for people, would have benefited from capitalism. What do you think on that take?
Well, listen, I was being facetious there when I said I like people earning money. I'm not uptight about it. I've been broke in my life, and I've made money in my life, and I understand that Moore, you know why Moore goes on shows and talks about capitalism being bad? Because it allows him to make $101 million on a film instead of $100 million. It's a bit of a carnival barker thing, and he's very adroit at it, and he'll make a little more money. And listen, I go back to that Randy, thank you, in Wisconsin, Who Gives What? And it's a pretty great book. It was out maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Go back and check that book and see the breakdown on charitable contributions on Who Gives What. And it's usually a faith-based conservative-leaning people often give the most. The breakdown, I believe, is close to 70-30 on people who affiliate themselves with conservative versus people who affiliate themselves with liberal. The fact is, empathy, in some odd way, has become an intellectual exercise with the left. They theorize about it, whereas you never have to understand empathy. You just have to either donate or give your time or something. It's one of those things that just is. And, like Woody Allen said, those who cannot do teach. Those who cannot teach gym in the one movie. And I believe those who, well, you look at Biden, geez, have you seen the submicroscopic? I mean, his donations over there, he talks about empathy. He talks about how it's time to become an American and give your part. Jesus, God, they had to bring in Van Leeuwenhoek for that audit. They had to put it under the scope. It was so submicroscopic. So, like I said, you can theorize all you want about the empathetic human being, or you can just shut up, keep what you want, and give the rest away. It's a lot easier, a lot more pragmatic, a lot cleaner exchange. Matt in Arkansas. What's up, Matt?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call today, Dennis.
All right, Groove Master. I'm groovy.
Awesome. Hey, I've got all sorts of stuff I'd like to say, but I know time is limited.
No, listen. We got a minute and a half. Go ahead, take it.
Well, first of all, the main reason for my call is just looking at two of your callers that you've called today. The guy that was the claimed socialist, and his whining and complaining about how the life is so unfair and the government needs to fix it, versus the hero that you had on just a little while ago, who was willing to sacrifice life, limb, and everything for us, and he had nothing to call in except for to say thanks to a doctor and some other folks that had helped him out, and how happy he was to be able to hold his daughter again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the stark difference between those two people. One, it says something about your show, Dennis, of how awesome it is that you can take those two extremes and still have a great show. But the first caller can't even hold a candle, does not even deserve to.
No, I would say that there's a disparate, there's a wide lane between the two callers. One is the thrill of victory, and the other one is the agony of defeatism, let's say, down in Long Beach. Thank you for the nice call there, Matt in Arkansas, although I don't think the first guy, I think he was like Fred DeMera Jr., the great imposter. I just think he gets off on doing the firewalk.
A little Tony Curtis.
Yeah, love that movie. Absolutely beautiful. The Dennis Miller Show.
Hey, you just pointed out how we're going to solve the government's problems, or this country's problems. Last hour you had that guy from, I think, Ohio. Where was he from? He was 52 years old.
Yeah, he was from Long Beach, California.
Was he really? Okay, anyhow, I'd be glad to kick in a couple of my hard-earned bucks to help him make ends meet. But then you had Christy Swanson and the Mooch on.
Yeah, the Mooch.
Both examples of the government doing it much better, or individuals doing it much better than the government ever could.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. You can't let the government into this health care thing. I'm telling you, they screw everything they touch. Turns to crap. Thank you out there, my friend Billy in Oregon. And, listen, you don't have to go for it in life. God knows. I spend a lot of Sundays on the couch watching 3 football games in a row, so I'm not exactly out there pushing the envelope as far, I'm not Chris Columbus jumping on the boat and heading out not knowing what's out there. But if you don't want to go for it, why do I have to kick in? Either go for it or don't. But once you don't go for it, embrace the not going for it-ness. All right? Get yourself a new pair of shoes every 8 years. You're watching a lot of TV anyway. I don't know what to tell you. There are people out there who have helpless, and I want to help them. But I want to isolate them. I want a strict line of demarcation between them and the clueless, because the clueless could fall off the face of the planet tomorrow. And I, honest to God, would only assume that's what they wanted. At some point, if you exhibit a consistent limp on the Serengeti Plain, you get fed on. You know that. I know that. You're 52. You're making 19 a year, and you're PO'd about it. But listen, it doesn't give you any more right than me making money and coming to you and saying, listen, I think you're making too much at 19. I want you to make $18,999. Now give me $1, or I'm not going to be your friend. That makes as much sense to me.